You can tell it's been bad when I become a smoke inside guy. I really love that song. It's from Toby Fox's Undertale, a game you're probably at least vaguely familiar with. It's kind of all over the internet, you know? Like, we made memes about it, and then we started making memes about the memes. And now we don't really talk about it all that much, but it just kind of like exists in the online space as this like common parlance that we all use. I said I really love that song, and that's true, but it's actually a lot more than that. And it kind of brings me to the point of this spontaneous video essay that I really don't want to talk about. But I feel like I kind of should. So here we go. I get these sort of little bouts in my mental health that I very generously call episodes, but what they really are these periods where I lose like whole days just because I'm spiraling for a variety of reasons with a variety of causes. A lot of the time, I don't even remember what necessarily caused it in the first place, what set me off, so to speak. It's really bad. It's like scared my family before. Pretty sure it's cost me jobs in the past, although they don't tell you when that's the cause of it, because I think they feel guilty because they know that something's wrong. Honestly, there are two people in my life who have demonstrated their ability to handle it. The first one is my father, and the second one is my husband, which, bless him, I don't know what I would do without him, because it's been hard recently. They're just these really intense symptoms of larger problems that have honestly just fucked up my life over and over again over the past like 20 years. It's really scary. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. When I get this way and I finally get to the point where I feel like I can start crawling out of whatever it is that's happening, I put that song on, that shop music from Undertale, and I listen to it over and over and over and over again. It's 36 seconds long. But there's something about the melody that is like very unique. It's also very familiar. It makes a lot of sense. I think it's because it reminds me of the like role-playing games that I've played for as long as I can remember now. I'm telling you, so many that like I can't even like estimate how many I've played at this point, starting from like elementary school and then over the past 20 some odd years. It's no replacement for medication, which I definitely take. It's not a replacement for therapy, which I've had a lot of, but it really helps. I listen to it in headphones while I like walk in circles around my apartment building. I listen to it like when I just sit in the shower. It just makes me think of this part of my life, which is video games, shocker, but this part of my life that's kind of just been there for as long as I can remember. That's really, these like kind of RPGs are this inextricable part of me. I use them a lot to sort of look at the world, and I've done that for a long time now. Thus this YouTube channel. There's something about them that kind of like brings me back to earth. It's this place of connection, almost. I don't feel completely crazy. Kind of feel in control, and you're a part of this narrative that's, it's often very poetic, very emotional, very lovely. A video game that's about like a dude with spiky blonde hair and a gigantic sword fighting a guy with long silvery hair with an even longer sword makes me feel more human and more grounded than my own brain does sometimes. And I mean, how pathetic is that? I love games. They help me, and this music helps me too. I've been having a pretty bad week. Honestly, I've been having a pretty bad couple of months because of all the stuff that's going on, but like some stuff happened this past week that made it like so much worse. And like in terms of the past few months, like I've talked about it very briefly on this channel before and some on like Twitter and stuff, but I've been working really hard in like this sort of career that was never guaranteed. Like that was always going to be really hard. That was always like incredibly competitive, and that there's just not very many jobs. And a lot of people end up like going to school for 10 years and then living in poverty and being on food stamps and, you know, still like slinging lattes like I've done for so long now. But like, oh man, did it all fall apart. It's like I've been trying to pick up sand and now it's just like the whole beach is gone. To be completely honest, I'm not really one of these people who like had all the tools necessary to be able to go and become an academic. I don't come from a family of academics. I don't come from a wealthy family. When undergrad, I worked 3 jobs to finish. I'm buried in debt. And like, was that all for fucking nothing? Like, what's happened? I feel like I don't know what to do. I prepared for this, like I really did, but like it's just been so overwhelming. And I know I'm really fucking lucky in like a lot of ways. I've got a good dog and cat and spouse. I have some other job experience that means I'll be okay. It's like so much more than a lot of other people have who try and do this stupid shit. But still, like I feel so uneven, just kind of like out of my own body recently. And like a lot of the time when I start to feel this way, I have a tendency to just kind of lose my mind. I've gone to doctors for this kind of a thing for a while now, and I talk fairly openly about it because I take it as a point of pride that I, you know, can help people kind of try and understand it better, try and get through it a little bit, offer some techniques and some experience or whatever. But you forget a lot of the time that the reason why you're able to offer people experience is because you fucking struggle with it because you've been through a lot of stuff. And when it comes to mental health, that stuff sticks around. And sometimes when like you want to be there for your loved ones or you want to be present for the people who need you, it has a tendency to creep up at these extremely inconvenient times. And it makes you feel like you don't have any control over it. And it just fucking sucks. It kind of takes you away from the people who need you, and that makes me feel like absolute shit. I know this is hard for a lot of people to hear, but I thought it was going to maybe take me away for good for a long time. And we came kind of close there a few times, but I don't really think that now. But oh boy, it hasn't been easy. And recently, it's been pretty bad. Which brings me back to Undertale. Somehow. And Undertale, I think, is a really cool game. And there's been a lot of people who have talked about it online. Some pretty good takes, some really bad takes. I think H-Bomber Guy's video on it is really great. It was probably one of the videos that kind of pushed me to start talking about games in this way. And honestly, it kind of, you know, made me realize that, like, why haven't I been doing this sooner? It's really kind of surprising that it didn't end up being the theory for gamers guy earlier than that. I mean, come on, what took me so long, right? And a lot of people have given their take, but I guess I kind of want to offer my own. And it's only a very small snapshot of this game, which maybe gives me room to talk about it again in the future, but, well, here it is. The opening sequence of Undertale is one of the most beautiful pieces of media I think I've ever seen. It feels to me so welded to reality that I'm just very moved every time I play it. I've played it a few times now. I think I've seen all the endings of this game. In Undertale, I mean, we're very clearly supposed to identify with the protagonist, and that makes sense to me. But I've always kind of felt a connection with another early character you meet. Her name is Toriel. She's this anthropomorphic goat who lives in these ruins, and she's basically the second character that you encounter after the protagonist before the game starts. It just climbs this very tall mountain and then falls into a hole at the top of the mountain. She kind of very lovingly and carefully guides you through the first part of the game. She teaches you about the puzzles and a little bit about the combat. Toriel has kind of like primed you for what's gonna happen. She's this very kind, very motherly, very good-natured character. She expresses that she really wants to be a teacher. She loves to read. I mean, come the fuck on. And when she meets the protagonist, she lets them know that you can stay here with me in the ruins, that it's very dangerous, that it has been a while since a human has come down here, but that I have a room for you that's safe, and that we can just stay here and we can take care of each other. But the problem is that you as the protagonist understand that there's something that you gotta do. You gotta go find your way home, which means that you need to leave the ruins, and it means that you need Toriel's help to find the exit and then start the beginning of your adventure. It hasn't even really gotten going yet. She lets you know that like the exit to these ruins, she had actually intended to destroy it, because every time a human comes down here, they die when they leave. She was a mother and she lost her kids. She's lost a lot. She's just a good, well-made character who has this compassion that overflows from her to where she wants to protect the people around her. However, even though she's extremely saddened when the protagonist expresses their desire to leave, I think out of her compassion, in a way, she says, okay, prove to me that you have the ability to take care of yourself when you leave here. And when you do, don't come back. Don't turn around. Go forward. I've kind of been through hell when it comes to this mental health stuff. And it probably sounds dramatic, but I think the people who know me understand kind of how it's been. And as a result of this, I feel like I've been very blessed in my life to meet a lot of people, many who are a bit younger than me, who also struggle with this kind of thing. Many of them are also queer like me. Love y'all. And who I feel like I can help, offer some guidance, that sort of a thing. A lot of people that I see myself in, and that for whom my heart absolutely breaks, just shatters when I see the very familiar problems of, like family who doesn't understand, and doctors who don't seem to believe you. And especially those times at night when even the people who love you, who care for you, who want everything for you, to protect you, for you to be safe, they can't be there for you, and you're by yourself and you have to deal with things on your own. I know those moments, and boy, are they tough. Because even the people who want to do everything for us can't be there for us all the time, even as much as they want to. At some point, we're going to be by ourselves. And dealing with it when you're by yourself is hard. It's really hard. Because I'm my own worst enemy. I try not to hate myself, but I do. I think more than anything, I don't want a single person to have to go through this. I want to be able to say it's okay. We don't have to feel pain. We don't have to feel alone. You don't have to feel like you don't have the strength to do this. We can just go into this house that we built where there's a room for you, and we can sit and we can read and we can protect ourselves from all of the pain and the struggle that exists outside of this place. But because I've been here, because I've been through this, and because I understand, I can't say that. Because I understand the reality of our situation. We live in a world that is not set up for people like you and me, that is not going to do us any fucking favors. And I've learned that better than anybody. And so I can't say that you can't feel pain. I can't say that you're not going to have to go through this alone. And this is the part where it's just unbelievably hard for me to say. But some of this we have to do by ourselves. And I'm so fucking sorry that there are times in your life where you have to be alone and you have to deal with this without anybody's help. It's just the reality of our situation. It is so unfair. It just is. It's unfair. But of course there's good news. Because when you begin your journey and when you move out on your own and when you decide I do have a way out of this, I see a one hand hold to where I can get one hand on something, to where I can begin clawing my way out of this. You get to be the one who sits here and says that it's going to take a lot of hard work, and that it takes listening to others, and sometimes it takes doctors, and sometimes it takes medicine, but that you have it within yourself to do what you need to do to begin your adventure and to eventually figure out how to live with all of this. That with a lot of hard work and the belief that you can do it, that you can make something beautiful out of all of this. The harsh reality that we have to deal with is that in spite of how many people who want to be there for us, we have to do some of this by ourselves. We have to figure out, I have to figure out how I can help make myself better in all of this mess. So we get up and we do the work, and we feel the things that we need to feel, and we try and we fall down and we live another day. We do it not just because there are people who love and care for you. We do it because we can. We do it because I believe in you, but also because you matter, because you're worthy of love, because you're not broken, because you just have to learn a few things, and then you just need to begin your journey. You have to take the tough step of moving out into a scary world, and sometimes you have to do it alone, and I'm so fucking sorry. I know that you can do it because I did it, and that when you're ready, only when you're ready, you can start your journey, and then you get to sit here where I am to tell people that while clearly everything doesn't get fixed, while you still have to deal with this stuff because yeah, it's a part of you, but that it does not own you. It does not make you any less of a person, but that in fact, eventually it can make you a lifeline for other people. So stay strong, because your life is going to be extraordinary. It may not look exactly how you thought it was going to, but if I'm any indication, holy shit, is it gonna be great. Even if you can't see it yet, you just have to start your journey. I believe in you. Okay?
It's been everything not to get a scrape on my knee, my elbow, and my face, where I go to hurt and slow down in every way, and speed up the grip on time, and everything looks bad. It's just the time to start, 'cause I'll make everything look like it's happy. I'll make everything look like it's rad. I'll make everything, I'll make